everyone, I'm Lauren from My Something Beautiful Life. I have a brand new planner to show you today. This is the Mompreneur Planner. Taylor, who is the creator of this planner, sent this to me to review for you. I am extremely intrigued by this planner. I love what she has done with it, and this is really more unique than a lot of the planners I have seen, specifically because it's for real estate agents who are also moms and who have a house to maintain. But in addition to that, I think this is a really great planner for a lot of people who are just trying to run a business and manage a home and a life. And so while I definitely want to stay true to the fact that this is specifically for real estate agents, I also want to point out some ways that this could easily be adapted for other business owners, even specifically how I plan to use this as a content creator. I think there are a lot of good features about this planner that are absolutely perfect for content creators too. And so while this is going to be an amazing planner if you are a real estate agent, I also think you could get a lot of value from it even if you're not. And so please stick around as I flip through it, because I am sure that this is going to be an amazing planner for a lot of people. She also said that this is just one edition that she's working on, and she does want to create some other variations in the future. I'm really hoping that a full content planner would be one of them, because it's already got such a good start with this one. There really wouldn't need to be very much that was tweaked to make it work for content creators. Anyway, let me just show you the planner and then you can just see all of the features that it has. So first of all, I thought this was really cool. She sent it with this newsletter. It's on like glossy paper. It's really nice. It has some information about how the company started, some information about Taylor herself, some tips for planning. It has a self-care bingo, and then it even has some prompts for talking to your family as you're eating dinner or just around the table. Anytime that you're just spending time together, here are some things that you could ask each other just to learn a little bit more about what's going on in each other's lives. And then there's a beautiful quote on the back. So I think this is just really fun, especially for a company that is brand new. I believe this is the first year she has launched this planner, which props to her, because this planner is amazing. Not just in what's inside, but the quality of it is perfection. So I love that she included this just as an introduction to the planner and to the company, to her, all of that. This is a great addition for a brand new company, and I actually hope that she does continue it, because I feel like it's a really good bonus to the planner itself. Okay, so this is the Mompreneur Planner. This is a larger planner. With the coil, this planner is 10 inches across and 11 inches tall. The pages themselves are 8.5 by 11, which is a standard letter size piece of paper. So this is a fairly large planner. It has a hardcover that's coated. It feels really nice, very smooth. It has the foiling around the logo, and then it has a gold coil, which is something that we actually don't see on hardcover planners very often. I do feel like it's becoming a little bit more common, but many times hardcover planners will have the twin loop binding, not the coil. So I absolutely love that she chose a coil for this, because coil's my favorite. Inside, we get a free snap-in bookmark, which I love when planners come with bookmarks because I use them all the time. The coils on these do seem like a 3-to-1 pitch, not a 4-to-1 pitch. And that's technical terms for how far apart the holes are, the spacing of it is. So your planners like Erin Condren and Moxie Live, those are a 4-to-1 pitch. But if you saw the Sprouted planner that I recently reviewed, that one is also a 3-to-1 pitch. So there's just a little bit more space in between each of the coils. Basically, it's how many holes are punched per inch. I only say this because that just means that some of your snap-in accessories for companies like Erin Condren are not going to work in this planner, which just makes it all the better that she included a bookmark, and it has pretty foiling on it that says, "You've got this, mama." And then up at the top it says "Today." So I'm really excited about this. It is like a frosted plastic, which I'm sure you can see. This side is textured, and then this side is more smooth. That's not really relevant to anything quality, it's just something I noticed. The paper in this planner is 120 GSM. It's very nice. It is a smooth paper. There's not a whole lot of texture to it, which I actually prefer. I like smooth paper. I just feel like it's easier to write on. However, it's not glossy, it's not slick. It just feels like a really nice paper. That already is a huge plus for me. I think the paper is important, and so I really love this paper. Okay, so the first pages that we have, there's a page about this planner and how to use this planner, and she goes through the different sections that are in here and just gives you some tips on how to plan. The next page that we have is some tips on overcoming mom guilt, which I think is really impressive that she included this. It's something that doesn't get talked about nearly enough, and you guys should just know that you're doing a great job. Everything works out in the end, so I love that she included this page as well. Then we have a weekly cleaning schedule. So for the days of the week, it doesn't have anything listed, so you can choose what it is that you do on each day. But then over on this side, it does have some tasks that repeat every day that would just be good to do on a regular basis. And there's only 5. It says make beds, laundry, tidy up, dishes, and wipe counters. I think that's a good assortment for things to be focused on every day. It's not overwhelming, but it's just a few things that will keep your home running smoothly. The next page that we have is family favorite meals. So just a place to keep track of all the meals that your family loves, just to make it easier when you're meal planning. She also says consider cooking in bulk or multiple meals at a time to cut down on the time that it takes to prepare dinner each night, which I think that's a great idea. I really love batch cooking because I would much rather eat leftovers that are easy to prepare than cook a new meal each night. On this side, we have the first page of the birthdays and anniversaries page. So there's January through June, and then we have July through December on the back of that. And then there's a page of the 2025 and 2026 holidays, which goes into the yearly overview. And again, we have 2025, 2026, and this is something I have actually never seen in a printed planner before. She actually marked off all of the days for the holidays that are on this page. Some will like that and some won't. I will rarely use pages like this, and so it doesn't really bother me. In general, I prefer to have my holidays blank in overall, even on the monthly. Just because there's so many different holidays, there's no way I could celebrate them all. And so I prefer to just write in my own that are the ones that are most important to me. But for anybody who does like having the holidays all printed out for you, this makes it really easy to keep track of. This would be such a time saver to have it already done for you. The next page that we have is a 2-page spread vision board. I love vision boards. They are one of my favorite things to do at the beginning of each year, so I will definitely be utilizing this. And one thing that I think is cool about it being 2-page is because this is a page for those running a business, I think it would be a really cool idea to actually do 1/2 that's personal and 1/2 for business, something like that. I'm not exactly sure how I will do it, but I think that could be a cool way to divide it up, or just mix it all up together. That would be totally fine too. The next page that we have is the first one that actually references real estate. And it would be so easy to repurpose this page if you're not a real estate agent, because it only says it right there one little time. So even if you're not in real estate, I think this is a really awesome reflection page, especially if you look at it from the standpoint of running your business. Why did you get into the business in the first place? Because there's definitely going to be times that are a struggle. And so it would be so nice to be able to go back to a page where you can remember why you started in the first place. I think this is a great page for anybody running a business. I also think it's good on a personal level. Why are the things that are important to you important? Because life gets chaotic. It can just be a really valuable thing to be able to go back and reflect on why you started in the first place. Okay, and then over here we have a notes page. So this could go with this, or it just could be another miscellaneous page for notes. But then we get into some more reflections and some goals. So here we have last year's wins and then this year's goals. So again, some of these are real estate based, some of them are not. There are 4 reflection questions here that are real estate based. And if you are a real estate agent, this could be really helpful to know where you were at last year so you can measure the growth that you have in the coming year. If you're not in real estate, this would actually be really easy to just repurpose. If you are looking at this from a business standpoint, you could just repurpose these questions for other business related metrics that you wanted to track, or you could make it very personal and just think of some reflections that you have for the past year. And then of course we have this year's goals. Some of them are business based, but they are not all real estate based. So you have focus for this year, personal goals, family goals, and business goals, income goals, transaction goals, sales volume, price point goals, and then social media goals. So you'll see there are some business related ones. But again, if you even were not using it from a business point of view, those would be really easy to repurpose for other categories, whatever categories you like to organize your life by. And if you are in real estate, I love that all of this is included in one planner, which I think is the whole purpose of this planner, just to be able to keep track of your life and your business all in one place. Okay, and then next we have some quarterly plans and goals. And this is not specific to business at all. So you have a box for each month. There is a quarter per page and it just says goals and steps. It's a very simple layout that would be so easy to make it exactly what you need it to be. And then of course here is the second half of the year, July through September, and then October through December. The next page that we have is actually very specific to real estate, and these are prospecting ideas. And her subheading up here says, be yourself, be authentic, action brings results. Here are a few ideas if you get into a slump. So this is a really cool idea if you're just looking for some new ways to expand your business. And I think this is a really good reference page to have in here for real estate agents. I do think some of these ideas could easily be repurposed into other businesses. So definitely don't dismiss the ideas on here if you are a business owner and just looking for some new ideas. Read through it and I bet that you could find something that would help you expand your business as well. Okay, this page is called Pop By and Event Ideas. It says pop bys and events are a great way to stay on top of mind and let your people know you are thinking of them. It doesn't have to be expensive. So I will admit I'm not exactly sure what a pop by is, but since I am not a real estate agent, I would probably just repurpose this as note space or some other planning space just because it has the lines on it. But again, this could be a really good reference if you are in real estate. I'm sure many of you know much more about what this means than I do, but anything that just gives you a list of ideas for reference, I think is a great thing to have in a planner. Okay, and then our next page is a yearly overview where you have a box for each month. It's called Events at a Glance, so I assume it's for events related to real estate. I think it just could be a great planning page for anything that you need a yearly overview for. And then I'm actually really excited about this page. It's very real estate based. It's a house closing tracker. However, the first thing I thought of when I saw this was a savings tracker. Like if you were saving for a house or trying to pay off your house, or maybe for house projects. You could even write on each of the little houses a specific project that you wanted to do in your home and then color it in as you do it. So I think there's tons of ways to use this page besides as intended. But I do think it's a really fun page for real estate agents to be able to track their sales. And then the page that we have over here is a mileage tracker. I do believe that in many careers, this is an important thing to be keeping track of. And then if it's not something that you need to keep track of, you have a chart that you can repurpose for something else. And there are multiple pages of this. So we have 3 there and a 4th one here. And then here we have a page for new client info. Again, really awesome for real estate agents to be able to keep track of that, but it would also work for those who aren't. It could also be a contact page for people related to running your household. So it could be doctors, it could be like if you have a specific plumber or electrician, or even family members and friends. So you definitely could just use this as a general page for your contacts too. The next tab right here is actually what I am most excited about when thinking of using this as a content planner. Of course, it's going to be awesome for real estate agents, but social media is huge in many businesses. and I definitely plan to utilize this. Social media is not one of my strengths, and so I love that there's an entire section for it. So here we have some ideas, and then there's a notes page. I also love that she has space for the brand pillars because I never really thought about using that for social media before. Okay, and then again, notes page. Okay, so here's what we have for the social media calendar. First of all, there's a page on how to use the calendar, and it gives you an example. She does use color coding for different topics. I think that goes back to the brand pillars. Each pillar has a specific color, so you could definitely do it that way. And then you have 12 of these calendars. So these are blank, undated. At first, I was a little curious why they're undated since this is a dated planner, but then I started thinking that it actually could work out really well because instead of using one page per month, you actually could just do it by week. So you could have multiple months on one sheet and just make it one continual list, which I actually think that might be easier than trying to separate it by month. Sometimes, especially towards the end of the month, I need to be thinking ahead at what's going to be happening in the coming weeks. And it can get really tedious to have to flip between different calendars. I mean, obviously you're still going to have to do that because it's got to end at some point. But having it just as like one ongoing list, I actually think would make it a lot easier. And so I think that's actually how I'm going to do it. But if you did want to separate it by month, there are 12 of them in here. So you definitely could just do one page per month and have plenty of room as well. Okay, so after those, you do have one notes page right here. And then the next tab that we have is KPI, which stands for Key Performance Indicators. I hadn't actually heard of the term Key Performance Indicators before. However, just looking at it, I can tell what it is. It's pretty much statistics, which is something that I definitely do track. But more than that, it's actually kind of like statistics combined with a habit tracker. You can do both. So for here, it says social media posts, and it just has check boxes for each of the days. But these ones right here, so like exercise minutes. So you can see this isn't even intended to be fully business. This could be personal as well. So exercise minutes, and then it has the minutes written into each box. So it doesn't have to be a checkbox. It could be a number, which really makes sense. I mean, the term itself is pretty self-explanatory when you think about it like that. I just don't think I've ever seen it tracked like this before, which is probably because I'm not in real estate and I'm not in a business that tracks numbers this way. I'm sure this is way more common than it actually feels like to me just because I'm not experienced with it. However, I really love this and I absolutely plan to track things this way. I'm really excited about the possibilities for this. So there is a page for each month. They are labeled at the top with which month it is. There's April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. And then we have another notes page right before it goes into the month. So the page on the front of this tab actually goes along with the month. I absolutely love my notes pages, and so I'm excited to have a page in here for each month. And the tab pages, I should mention, are also a thicker cardstock. They're not the same weight as the regular paper. Although the paper itself actually is a decent weight. Like, it's a pretty good paper. Okay, so here's our monthly calendar. It is dated. It goes from Sunday to Saturday. On the sidebar, we have a priority/to-do list and then a space for notes. It's a very simple and basic calendar. The boxes are really big, so you have tons of room to write all the different things that are going on in your month. If you are trying to separate home and business, I would definitely recommend color coding. It just helps different things to stand out, and so everything doesn't just all blend in together. Of course, I always color code my monthly spreads, and so that might just be something that comes naturally to me. But if you are struggling with keeping things separate within the same planner, I would just definitely recommend color coding because it just makes things stand out differently. If you're looking for one specific color, it's much easier to see what you're looking for. Okay. And then each month we have a page for monthly intentions and a giant to-do list, which I love. It is separated into 2 columns also. So if you wanted to say like home and business, you could do that. You could also just divide it up into more categories if you needed to. But it just seems like there's always a to-do list, and so I love this. And having this page here means that I don't have to use this notes page as my to-do list for the month. So I can utilize that page for something else. Okay, and then let's go back to the monthly intentions page. I know I kind of skipped over it for the to-do list. So we have focus for this month, personal goals, family goals, and business goals, and then notes. I love how simple this is. It gives you the space to divide out your goals for those 3 different categories, and then it just gives you note space, which again, I always just need note space. So you could use this space to write out your plan for how you intend to act on these goals, or just use it for note space for anything else that you need for the month. And then after these 2 pages, we get into the weekly spread. I really love how she has this page set up. So on the sidebar, we have top 3 priorities with 3 check boxes, and then you just have blank space. So you could make that a to-do list or any sort of notes that you need for the week. And then on each day, you have an hourly schedule. It goes from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. and each line is for half an hour. So if you are running a business and working during the day, you can use this space to keep track of all of those work tasks. You can write in other family tasks that may come up. We all know life is not always just separated by personal and work. And so definitely utilize the hourly spread however you need it most. But what is really special about this planner is that she has a space down here for family. Again, this could be repurposed if you need it for something else. But if you look at how this planner was intended to be used, a planner where you can keep track of both your business and your family life, you have your schedule, especially as a real estate agent who has appointments, the hourly schedule is absolutely crucial for that. And then you have space here to write down whatever's going on with your family that day. There is a line here for gratitude, which I love that she threw that in there because it's just such a good reminder to just look for the good every day. So even when life is crazy and chaotic and this whole planner page gets so full, you still have a space down here for gratitude. And I think that is such an important habit to focus on. And then the last space that we have down here is for dinner. So if I was using this purely as a content planner, I would probably use this for time blocking because I don't have a lot of appointments. And so I would time block out my day, what different tasks I'm going to work on. And then I could use these sections down here for other things related to my business. And all of that would work really well. But personally, I actually really love how it allows you to combine both your work and your family life. Because you're only living one life. I mean, we like to separate and categorize, but your life is your life. Sometimes it doesn't separate easily into little boxes. And so I just love that you could see your whole life on just one spread. I absolutely love the uniqueness of this planner for that reason. Also, if you've noticed, there are quotes throughout the whole planner. She has them on almost every page, it seems like. That one doesn't. Okay, so maybe the planning pages don't, but the notes pages all do. This page does. So there are tons of inspirational quotes throughout the whole thing, and I've read through some of them, and they're really good quotes. So I just love those little reminders, little bursts of motivation. Okay, so every weekly spread is the same. And then when you get to the end of the month, you have a month in review. So it has what were you grateful for this month? What were your biggest achievements? What were some obstacles that you faced? And what do you want to do differently next month? So completely not real estate related. However, it could be used that way. However, those things could also fit into these questions, or they could just be used for your life in general. I mean, honestly, as you're reflecting on those questions, you're going to notice the things that come to your mind that are things that you might want to be focusing on. So these are very good reflection questions. I really love them. I do almost wish the boxes were lined because they're just blank boxes. I just love lines. Lines make it so much easier for me to write. So that is one thing that I wish was that there were more lines. There's lots of blank spaces in this planner. However, that does give you the freedom to divide it up and use it however you want. Like you could section off each of these too. Like maybe if there were 3 main obstacles, you could divide it up and do one for each section, do it like that. But I just love lines. Okay, so every month is going to be the same. Oh, and the only color in here is this like grayish blue. I think it's a really pretty color. It matches the cover perfectly, and it just feels very calming to me. So I really like the color that she used. Okay, when we skip to the end of the planner, we'll go to December. All right, so we have the end of December. There's the month in review, and then there are just 2 notes pages, and that is the end of the planner. I would definitely use these for some type of reference, just something that you might need to look back on throughout the year. But other than that, I really love this planner. I'm very excited to use it next year. I don't know exactly how I'm going to use it. I imagine it will be something related to my blog and YouTube content related, basically. But I do think this would be a really great resource for real estate agents who are trying to also run their home. Honestly, for a first-year planner, I think she knocked it out of the park. And I really just can't wait to see what she does in the future. Anyway, I will link to this below so that you can go check it out. And thank you so much for watching today. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.